Hello everyone, my name is René Schlatter alongside Andrew Wright, winemaker at Merryvale Vineyards. Today we're going to taste the Silhouette, which is what we consider our top Chardonnay amongst the portfolio. We make 3 Chardonnays at Merryvale, the Carneros, the Hyde, and then the creme de la creme, as we call it, the Silhouette. This is a new release, 2019. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Andrew?
Yeah, love this wine. Huge fan of the Silhouette all the years, even before I was a Merryvale winemaker. And now that I get to make this wine, super excited to bring it to you. Silhouette is, of course, our, to René's point, creme de la creme, the best of the best off of our estate vineyard, the Stanley Ranch Vineyard down in Carneros. A little bit about the 2019 vintage. It was kind of it was a warm vintage, but I think an even vintage. There was no crazy heat spikes, no crazy rain events, no crazy fire to contend with in 2019. So it allows the fruit, which comes off of one specific block on that parcel of land with a very specific clonal rootstock combination. It's clone 15 on SO4 for those of you who care about those things. But the fruit hand harvested overnight, came in perfect optimal ripeness. We hand harvest at night to retain acidity in the grapes as much as we can, even though we pick on the early side too, to retain as much natural acidity that exists in Chardonnay. And then we just use classic Burgundian techniques in the cellar. It's whole cluster pressed to settling tank. The next day it goes down into to French oak barrels from Burgundy, about 45% new, 55% used, different sizes, 600-liter puncheons, and we have smaller 60-gallon normal barrels as well. Then we just kind of let nature take its course. It's native yeast fermentation for primary and malolactic. Very minimal intervention on our behalf. We just stir the leaves gently and just kind of monitor it as it goes through and kind of let nature take its course.
Fantastic. This is probably as close as you'll get to Burgundy in California. Of course, I'm a little biased, but it's never going to be Burgundy. We know that. It's a different terroir, different climate, different soil. Different topography, but and I usually don't like to necessarily talk about wine critics, but on many occasions before, the word was, you could insert it into a white Grand Cru Burgundy tasting and it would be difficult to pick it out as a California Chardonnay. I think that was a great way to describe this wine in many ways. Great length, very silky, full-bodied, but still great acidity. I love this wine. Of course, I'm maybe a little partial, like I said, but you know, it's a beautiful wine. So
I think people that aren't familiar as well with a lot of different styles of Napa Valley Chardonnay, they assume that everything is big and buttery and highly alcoholic and just like heavy on your palate, where this is kind of the opposite of that. It's very focused. It's like you said, to your point, it's got natural acidity. It's got really bracing, vibrant acidity that carries all the way through. It's a very long wine, but at the same time, the barrel fermentation gives it that texture and that unctuousness that I love about this wine. So you give it to somebody who likes a full-bodied Chardonnay, they're going to be happy because it's got that volume of roundness. But if you give it to somebody who likes a leaner style, more Burgundian Chardonnay, they're going to be happy too because it has the acidity, it has the length, it's not overly ripe. To me, it's the best New World expression of classic Burgundian winemaking.
No question. You can have another sip and another sip. You don't get your palate. You don't have palate fatigue. You don't get tired. So. Cheers.
Oh, for food.
Oh, food.
Man,
yeah.
Lobsters, chickens,
oysters,
rabbit terrine, fantastic. Basically anything you would drink a Chardonnay with, but for me this wine is a standout on its own, or basically any type of food. This wine is
salmon. I don't know if
so
you mentioned
great.
that, but yeah. You can have it on its own, of course, but I think you'll be even more rewarded with some food, as we just mentioned. So, cheers, everyone! Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time and get some of that stuff.
For sure.
Cheers.